Good morning, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
This year, this week, but this year as well in general, but this week in particular, Matilda and I were talking about finds, and in this case in particular, finds in nature, things that you come across.
Unexpected treasures.
Uh, Wonderful things that you come across, that you witness,
Or
that you
that you
pick
see.
up,
Yeah.
and the mysterious effect that has on us. Um, and we struggled a little bit as to what is the emotion that it stirs. Why do you feel so special under those circumstances when you come across that, or you find it? It's not necessarily that you go out and look for it. Often it is not something that, well, it can be. It can be. We know there's a small area against Gele Mountain, the big mountain on the other side of the road, where there's butterflies.
Endemic to just that little spot.
If you look in the butterfly book, there's this prick of where
Their location.
their location. So if we would go out to look for them and find them,
Yeah.
it would be wonderful.
Yeah.
But in general, just things that we pick up. So we're talking in a little bit in the abstract now. Maybe it's better to look at practical
Yeah,
examples.
give examples. Yeah. So with the Blue Crane retreats that we were doing last couple of years, we felt that it would be lovely to have a couple of feathers. And they're very shy. You can't really go close to them. But once they've flown off to their grazing fields in the mornings, it's quite possible to go and walk around where they roost. So we did that at Forellenhof, where we were giving the retreats, and we went looking for feathers. And it wasn't, I think, a time when they were actually losing feathers much. So it was a bit of a search, but it was wonderful. George was on one side of the field and me on the other, and he just shouted and held up this huge tail feather that he picked up. And it was such a wonderful feeling to know that this is one of the feathers of those beautiful, graceful birds. So we picked up quite a bit over time. And also some of the groups, we would take the groups and we would go walking after they left for their grazing fields. And it was just wonderful to have that as a memento, one of these beautiful feathers with a lovely ombre, the pale gray going into the dark tail. And yeah, so that's lovely. But I've discovered, especially lately, that feathers are really very much a symbol for people. And the discovery of a feather or
It's very
noticing,
meaningful.
it's very meaningful to many people. And for me as well, it's lovely to pick up a feather like an owl feather. These are all from here. Or maybe you'll pick up a crow feather, or where's that heron feather? I can't see it now. But we have these
So we have
huge
these
herons.
little pots and containers where we keep our stash. We say it's almost
Here's
like
a heron feather.
that's a heron. I think
Huge
it's
heron, grey heron.
the giant heron.
Yeah, that also roost here.
We're almost like children with a shoebox where you gather all these finds, your treasures,
Yeah.
and you keep them. And we say, to an extent, that's where the mystery lies. It's almost a childlike feeling.
It is. It's something of that. I remember as a small child, I had a little brown suitcase, little school case, and I would walk around the house and pick up little pieces of glass and screws and I don't know what, and then I would, with my mud creations, my mud pies and my mud houses, I would then decorate with these things. So it's very much a childish or childlike um, adventure.
Mm, mm.
Another thing that's quite often that we come across here is the
Porcupine.
porcupine quills, and that's also lovely to pick them up. And they are so extremely sharp. You can actually, if you do prick yourself with it, it burns quite a bit. Um, so that's also lovely.
Mm. And in front of my bed, I have a beautiful pot of Matilda. I love this pot in itself. Uh, and in this, I put all my finds and my treasures, uh, like lichen. I love grasses, the different seeds of grasses. Here's tree bark, the coloring of tree
Here's
bark.
another beautiful owl feather with lovely coloring.
Yeah,
So delicate.
it's the big spotted owl.
Yeah, and it is spotted, eh? Look at that.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. Yeah, but actually,
George is working you up to
yeah, I'm working
a
towards
crescendo.
a crescendo, a climax. I know you are all waiting for what I have in
Give us
stock.
something special now.
Yeah, I've waited for this recording to share my treasure.
You're
And
fine.
and the beauty of these treasures is it's not costing us anything.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to pay anything. You only have to be observant and you have to be there. Um, It reminds me of a poem by Mary Oliver, but I can't remember it. Uh,
That's helpful.
it's very helpful. Uh, trust me, it reminds me of a poem of Mary Oliver. But look at this. A deer horn. Um, they shed their antlers here at the beginning of spring, and then it grows back in the course of the season. And I was walking with the dogs, and the deer, they are so shy
And it's a very small herd.
very, very small,
And they're
maybe
of
three
course
or
not
four.
endemic or yeah, they from overseas, and we don't exactly know how they came to South Africa, but they here.
And they're free roaming, so they're not in camps or anything. So they move among the farms and so on. So when you have them in your area, you feel so privileged.
They're beautiful.
And we've only seen them for fleeting moments at the beginning of this season, and then we haven't seen them again. So when I went for the stroll with the dogs and I came across this, I really felt like a rich man. And just to feel it, I mean, it is so worn on the one side. I think they rub their heads against branches and stuff like that. Isn't it beautiful? And then you can also understand when they call certain ferns staghorn
It
ferns.
looks exactly like that.
Exactly
Yeah.
like this.
So the feeling for you is that you feel rich.
I feel rich. I feel as if I enter into a mysterious world, as if I have access to it. Something that is in general very elusive. I don't have full knowledge of it, and I don't try to understand it fully, but for a brief moment there's a crossing of paths.
A connection.
And a connection and a widening of my world, an opening up of my world, a realizing that my world is only one aspect of a much bigger mystery. I love that feeling. And almost this feeling of being chosen.
A feeling of being noticed.
Yes.
And especially spoiled. It's like for me, it's a very childlike feeling. It takes me back. It's like really something playful, adventurous, special, extremely special. You feel like you say, chosen or really noticed or loved. It's a feeling of being cherished.
Mm. I think
To
love,
find something like
yeah,
that.
love plays a role there.
Yeah, you feel really wat's uitgesonder
Yeah.
um
Um,
picked almost for
mm,
this special treat.
mm.
And without doing anything really.
No.
So, like you say, just being out there. And I think it's not always something that you can take home.
No.
Sometimes it's just something visual. I was thinking of sunsets. I think it's so, and it sounds corny, but it's really so underrated not to see the sun come up and go down every day. And it's so unique. If there's clouds, there is not a replication of
That
this of that
specific
specific
color and.
um and it's the same thing really.
Mm,
You witnessing something completely beautiful and special.
mm. And there's also a deep feeling of being in a conversation with God, God relating to
Yeah, but
us.
without being, overly like religious. It's not like
Mm-mm.
it's
No.
it's not that. It's just a feeling of connection.
Yes, yes.
More that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
I
for
don't want to religionize it. It's not something that, I want to put a Bible verse to it. Or
no.
it's nothing like that. It's just a moment of feeling connected and spoiled and
But exactly
yeah.
that feeling for me is God.
Yes, yes. Yeah. But often you'll get that we feel obliged almost to bring the Bible in, or
Mm,
to, and I don't think it's even necessary. You can do that,
mm.
or if a verse pops up, of course, it's wonderful. But it's just to be in that moment of discovery.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of relation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we would love to hear and see some of your finds. If you can share that with us. But thank you for letting us open our shoebox of treasures this morning and sharing it with you.
Yeah, we would love to hear what your finds are.
Keep well on that side.
Bye bye.